Hey, what's up guys? It's Twice here, and today I have yet another endgame strategy video for you. But instead of Angel Feather, this one's actually going to be Beast Deity. Yeah. The reason I wanted to do one about Beast Deity is that I actually did really well at our locals this past weekend with these Beast Deities. I actually did, it wasn't amazing, but every match that I was in, I won at least one game. And that was pretty awesome, except for one where I faced a guy using Revengers, and that was just my god, he played that deck so well. Anyway, though, one thing I noticed about Nova Grappler is that people were surprised when I was playing it, and I can understand that the meta's kind of changed, but a lot of people didn't exactly know what a lot of these cards did, and every one of my opponents, except for maybe like two or three of them, had to ask me, hey, what does this card Ethics Buster do? Or, for instance, I've got him over here, what does this card Illuminal Dragon do? Everyone had to read, and then a lot of people weren't prepared for the strategy, so I think it came as kind of a pretty good surprise to a lot of people. Anyway, so this strategy is kind of simple. However, I noticed that this really works well, and I got the idea when I was making the deck. One of the guys at the shop who did play Beastie a lot told me exactly how this is supposed to work. The idea is, so long as we don't have Ethics Buster Extreme out right now, the idea for Beastie is that we have to get as many attacks off in one turn as we can. It's like an Aqua Force-ish kind of strategy, just attack your opponent as many times as you can, just force out the guard. That's really the idea. So as you can see, I've got Golden Anglet being boosted by a Blank Marsh, with Tough Boy boosting Ethics Buster for a very good reason, and then we have Hatred Chaos boosted by Riot Horn. And a lot of people were really annoyed by Riot Horn. One guy, the guy who played Revengers, who actually had played Beast Deity before, commented that him, Linshu, and I forget what the other card he mentioned was, are probably the three best starters in the game. Conroe. He said Conroe, which I would agree with. Conroe, some people like Conroe, some people use Red Pulsar, Draco Kit for DOT. It really depends. But anyway, so the idea is to get off consistently 5 attacks, and it's actually not that hard. So as you can see, we have 5 rear guards. So the reason that I boost Ethics Buster with Tough Boy is that Ethics Buster's skill is when he's boosted by a Nova Grappler, he gets plus 2k, and he has 11 to start with. So if I attack with a boost from Tough Boy, this column swings for 21, which means my opponent is going to have to put down a 15k shield at least in order to block for 1 to pass, or a 20k shield for 2. Alright? And that's a really significant number, because if your opponent only has like 10k shields in hand, you might force out one of those 10k shields and force them to overguard, even though they don't want to, or force an intercept, and that's exactly what you want. Meanwhile, and when you don't have the Break Ride skill going, if you didn't Break Ride that turn, you really do want to attack with the Vanguard first, at least in this deck, because I only run crits and draws, so I'm going to want to give everything that I get from the triggers either to my attack or to my still standing rear guards. Anyway, so what you do is you attack for like 21, and then this column swings for like 17. This really isn't that magic of a number anymore, unless of course you're facing like MLB. But anyway, this is 19, which, while it may seem strange that I'm putting Blank Marsh behind Golden Anglet, there's actually a pretty good reason for that. I don't put Anglet over here in front of Riot Horn because this is only a 14k column. That's like the definition of a non-magic number, unless you're attacking like a 9k rear guard, in which case it's still 10k to guard. So it's really not anything useful. However, this is a 16k column, and this is a 17 restanding column. Whenever he stands as well, so this is a continuous restanding 7k column, which is really nice. Anyway, so what you're going to want to do with the Break Ride is, I have another Ethics Buster here. You want to Break Ride Ethics Buster and Ethics Buster as many times as possible. So Break Ride Ethics Buster. Now he's at 21 by himself. He will be swinging for 31 with a boost from Tough Boy. And you're going to get the standard front row rear guards. So what I like to do is, so I did the Break Ride. He's at 21. I attack with a boost first, 17. Maybe try to kill one of the rear guards. There was a kid I faced with OTT. Silent Tom. Yeah, I tried to kill that thing as fast as I possibly could. So attack their like rear guard, maybe one that they want to intercept with, so kill that. Alright, then you come over here, and if they have a 9k Vanguard, or 9k rear guard rather, you can attack that with Golden Anglet, so just to force out another 5k shield. Alright, usually I don't boost with Blank Marsh yet. I really save him for when he restands for a good reason. And then you come over here and you attack with Ethics Buster boosted. That's a 31k attack, alright? Most people are going to throw down a perfect guard, or they're going to put a lot of shield into that guard, because again, that's a magic number. Your opponent has to guard for at least 25 in order to do 1 to pass. Alright, and remember, when you do the break, when you attack with Vanguard, the break ride skill activates. So he stands, gets +3, so now he's at 12. And then this entire column restands, and that's exactly what people found very annoying about Riot Horn, is that I could do 2 boosted attacks with this one column, and really start putting pressure on rear guards. Anyway, so you attack with that, your opponent hopefully like guards it, maybe, and then what you can do is you can come over here, right, or you can attack like a rear guard. This is going to be 19, so you can kill any 9k rear guard that you want, because nobody wants to guard the rear guard for 15k anyway. Or you can come over here first, and let's restand you. Maybe you can kill a rear guard, if you haven't already, or you can put pressure on the Vanguard, okay? And then you can come over here, and if your attack on the Vanguard has not hit this one already, if your opponent's willing to take another hit, you attack. This is a boosted hit for 19, okay? Let's say it hits the Vanguard. No problem, alright? Because now you have Blank March. This is exactly why I didn't boost with him earlier. I'm going to Counterblast. I'm going to send Blank March into the Soul. And then I'm going to restand Anglet. Anglet gets +3 again when he stands. So now he's at a 15k base, maybe even 20 if you got a trigger, which would be freaking awesome. Let's actually just check the top card of the deck. What would our Trend Drive have been? That's Hilarity Destroyer, and that's a Golden Anglet, so nothing special. But still, like, that's a really nice card. Like, 15k, like, your opponent is still going to have to guard for another 5, or you're going to have to guard a rear guard for 10 or something. So the whole idea is just consistently pressure vanguards and rear guards with big numbers that restand. It's really about utility, and it's about restanding. It's what Nova Grapplers do. But that's not even the best part. The best part is when you do the final break ride with the Illuminal Dragon. Okay? Let's even say that I still have my Blank March. Let me actually just get him out of the soul really fast. Alright, so now I have this column, which it's not going to swing for as much as Ethics Buster, but it's still pretty good. So we're going to do the same thing. Okay, we're going to attack for 17, attack with whatever, 9. Okay, attack for 29, which a lot of people are still afraid of that number. Stand them again. Okay, +3 over here. This is still 17. And there you go. You're attacking your opponent's Vanguard for 29k. Alright, and you do your Twin Drive, whatever. And now you come over here. You still have the 19. Okay, and you still have the 17. But that's not the end of it. Remember, this is Illuminal Dragon, so next turn, let's restand everything. Consistently, 5 attacks. That's what you want to get. Okay, you attack with your rear guards first, and then Limit Break. You counterblast 3 cards, alright? Let's just say this one hasn't been used yet, because we didn't use Blank March yet. Stand them again. Alright, and you could even have him still standing if you didn't boost, which is, again, what I like to do. It scares people just how many times you can attack with this deck. And because I have cards like Red Lightning or like Claydol Mechanic, who I unfortunately did not get out of the deck, I can, like, replace this Blank March, or this Tough Boy, who isn't really going to be useful as a booster. His 8k isn't as useful as it is behind Illuminal Dragon, as it is behind Ethics Buster. So maybe I can replace him for a Claydol Mechanic. Alright, so if I replace him and call a Claydol, I can unflip another damage and then do it again. That means that if I had, let's see, if I had the initial Ethics Buster, alright, and I did the break ride once, so that's 5 attacks in that turn with a 31k column. Then I break ride again, that's 5 attacks that turn. Use the limit break next turn, that's 5 attacks that turn. Then unflip and do it again, that's 5 attacks that turn. It's consistently 5 attacks. That's your endgame strategy. If you can keep your rear guards, which it's not hard to do with this deck, then because, you know, you have 6 draw triggers, and those draw triggers really come in handy early game for just building up the hand. I once got 3 draw trigger damages in a row and had like 7 cards in my hand on, I think it was my grade 3 ride. So that's just like, it's so nice having those cards in your hand. Anyway, this is what the Illuminal Dragon Ethics Buster deck is designed to do. Consistently 5 attacks. And a lot of people say that this really counterblast heavy card is not as useful anymore. I disagree with that entirely. I say Illuminal Dragon is just as useful today as he was when he first came out in Set 9. And you can run like Azure Dragon with Ethics Buster because the pressure of, you know, letting your Vanguard hit theirs and then doing the Persona Blast with no counter blasting. It's a counter blast free cost, and then restanding 2 units. It's perfect. And that can be any 2 rear guards. You could stand this column. You could stand up like something that's boosted by a Tough Boy. This Break Ride gives us so many opportunities, combined with the Liminal Dragon, and because Nova Grapplers are so good at unflipping damage, it's hell for your opponent. Anyway, I hope you guys really liked it. This is what really gave me a lot of success at locals with a deck that not many people recognized. Against things like Revengers, I still put a lot of pressure on my opponents, and that's what I really liked. So, hope you guys have a good day, and remember to keep card fighting, and rate, comment, subscribe to Team Zenith. We'll give you some more updates later, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.